Hello again, my name is David Watts and I have with me Tom Boucher from Emulex in a very nice looking red shirt, and today we are going to be talking about the fibre channel adapters, the 16 gig fibre channel adapters from Emulex for IBM Flex System. We have the FC5054 and the FC5052. These adapters, we've got the 4-port here, this is a 4-port adapter, and this is the 2-port adapter. They're a little bit physically different. What are the key differences between them, Tom?
So the major difference between the two is this one is a dual chip solution. This design has 2 chips on it, so there are actually 2 ASICs underneath the heatsink, and then on this design is a single ASIC. So with the 2 ASICs, we're able to take advantage of the direct I/O path design that the Flex system has, so that each ASIC logs into the system independently. So if we were to have any type of a hardware failure on an individual ASIC, the second ASIC isn't affected and you have full redundancy in a blade design. With a single ASIC design, you could still have a single point of failure, and if you're designing for redundancy, the 4-port adapter gives you better redundancy.
Right, so these are 16 gig adapters that work with the 16 gig switches for Flex System, but these also work with 8 gig switches, right?
Correct. These are fully backward compatible with the previous generation of networking technology for fiber channel. But one of the neat things about it is, even if you're still using an 8 gig network, these adapters perform better than the previous generation of cards. Well, we can see almost 2 to 3 times the performance on a standard I/O read with the new 16 gig cards connected to an 8 gig fabric. We kind of call it advanced 8 gig. So you kind of...
So simply, if you've got an 8 gig network, 8 gig SAN for your fibre channel fabric, simply using 16 gig cards instead of 8 gig cards can give you significant performance improvement.
Correct, yes.
Right.
Because usually the bottleneck is never the fabric, it's most of the time it's the server itself. So by augmenting that with these cards, you get better performance.
Yeah, okay. And if we compare the Flex System adapters to regular PCI adapters, like in System X servers, these have a big benefit in terms of cost, right?
Yes, because one of the designs of the Flex is by having a mid-plane, I don't need the optical connections on each adapter like I would in a rack server. And with fiber channel, one of the more expensive components of it are the actual optics themselves. So since a 4-port card doesn't have any optics on it, you can see a significant cost savings compared to the PCIe counterpart. So we have in the Flex system, 16 gig adapters are starting to become more popular because of the performance benefits combined with the lower cost.
Right, and these cards plug directly into the mid-plane in the chassis, and then mid-plane goes to the switches.
Right.
Right, yeah, okay. And these are the new Gen 5 fibre channel adapters. They have a new feature called Express Lane, is that right?
Yes. One of the challenges you have in a SAN is we now have a mix of storage types. In the past we had just spinning disks, but now we have both SSD and spinning disks. The problem is SSD is going to be faster than a spinning disk, so you need something to be able to say, okay, this is an SSD target and this is a spinning disk target, and that's what Express Lane gives us. We set priorities per target, so you can say target number 1, that's an SSD array, and then what Express Lane does is it gives the SSD array more buffer credits in the fabric. And this is OS independent. You don't have to worry does Windows supported or Linux supported or whatever. You just set up the queues on your switches and on the adapters, and they handle it behind the scenes.
And it's worked with Brocade switches, right?
Yes, we do it is a Brocade exclusive technology currently.
So that's the FC5022
Correct.
16 gig Flex System switch, right?
Right. Express Lane is supported with the Brocade 5022 switch family, and there is no extra cost for that. It's just a part of the components of the device.
Right. And these adapters both work in servers such as this one. This is the new X240 M5 we just came out with, and either adapter can be installed in slot 2 in the server. Slot 1 is reserved for Ethernet.
Correct.
So should we install that into the machine?
Sure.
This machine will then plug into the chassis, the mid-plane connection, and gives you the direct connection to the switches installed at the back of the chassis.
Yes, and one of the advantages of the Emulex cards is that if a customer has existing 8 gig infrastructure where they have 8 gig versions of the Emulex adapter, our device driver between the two families is the same. So you could create one OS image for your environment, but you could trade out the adapters because they use the same device driver.
So a relatively easy upgrade path from 8 gig to 16 gig cards.
Yep.
All right, so there you have it. These are the IBM Flex System FC5052 and the FC5054 from Emulex. We hope you enjoyed this video.